Well, let's get you the latest on this. We can cross live to our Europe editor, Armen Georgian, who's been waiting, standing by for us. Armen, good to have you with us. We all listened in to him speaking a short time ago, Peter Magyar, then vowing to make anti-corruption top of his priorities, but also, importantly, saying that we want a constructive relationship with the EU.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there was that domestic component and, of course, the European dimension, and Magyar addressed both of those things in his press conference. But I think the main overriding thing that we got from it, Rochelle, is that Magyar really wants to get going. He wants to get to work because he's got not just a huge mandate from the Hungarian people in this election, he's also got the seats in this parliament behind me to actually do the things that he wants to do. He's projected to have 138 seats, so that is a very solid majority for bringing in these anti-corruption changes. A couple of other things worth pointing out. You mentioned the term limits that he wants to bring in. He actually wants to apply that retroactively, so that would mean effectively that Viktor Orban could never come back as Prime Minister. He could then not do a kind of Donald Trump-style comeback 4 years later. And there's clearly no love lost between the Magyar team and the Orban team. Magyar making it clear that he's not expecting this transition to be smooth. He's not expecting the current authorities to provide him with all the documents he needs. And indeed, he even alleged that the foreign ministry and its head, Peter Magyar, are currently shredding sensitive documents, including to do with documents that have to do with sanctions, European sanctions on Russia. So I don't know if that allegation is true or not, of course, but he said it was coming from an insider in the foreign ministry. But it just gives you an idea of how difficult this transition is going to be. But he's very keen to get to work, and he says he absolutely wants the president of Hungary to convene a parliament in early May so that it can get down to work. And that's also important to get EU funding back and to integrate the whole European system.
I mean, Armen, as you say, there's a lot of work to be done, whether it's kind of rooting out corruption, term limits. Let's focus a little bit on this relationship with the EU. He's singing the right tunes. That's what the EU will want to hear. What is it now that they'll be hoping for since Magyar has been elected?
I think it depends what sort of political family you belong to in the EU. You know, I think that people more on the left of the spectrum in other EU countries are under no illusions about Magyar's politics. He takes a hard line on asylum and migration. He's been skeptical about aspects of the Green Deal, and a lot of what he says is actually very much in tune with traditional conservatives when they say you have to take the people with you. You can't do things against the people when it comes to things like the Green Deal and so forth. Obviously, his voice does add a very important voice to the existing big tent conservative party in Europe. That's the European People's Party. They already have prime ministers in power in several European countries. So it will be a great comfort to them to have Peter Magyar joining their ranks. I think the big change we're going to see, though, at the EU level, Rochelle, is on Ukraine. First of all, we can expect now, I don't know exactly what date, but we can expect the EU Council to get its 90 billion euro loan for Ukraine over the line. That was, of course, the big blockage in the last couple of months when Viktor Orban was prime minister. But I think on some of the other issues to do long-term to do with Ukraine, like Ukrainian membership of the EU, Peter Magyar is skeptical about that, so he might find common cause with other EU leaders who are also a bit skeptical about wanting to give Ukraine a firm date for EU membership. So I think there will be some nuances there, but on the broad overarching Ukraine policy, he is not going to stand in the way of things like EU sanctions on Russia or future sanctions packages on the Kremlin in the way that his predecessor Viktor Orban did.
All right, Armen in Budapest for us.